Hey everyone, Tracy Taylor here from Tailor Made Transformations. Today I want to talk a little bit about why I don't believe great and good relationships are a lot of work. I know we live in a society, in a culture that really believes that you should work in a relationship. And I'm not saying that you should give up on every relationship. I'm surely not saying that. But when there becomes a pattern of constant turmoil, then yes, you should. But I really don't believe that good and great relationships, the ones that really last long, where people are actually happy, are a lot of work. I think those people, call it luck, whatever, they just mesh and they work. And I think that we have bought into, we're a culture that buys into believing that if it's worth it, it's gonna be hard and it's gonna be a lot of work. And for some things, it truly is. I mean, we can't, just sit here and wish and hope and dream and have things come to us. We have to get out there and we have to work for them. But when two people get together, should only be so much work involved. And really, if there's a lot of work involved, you probably don't belong together. The difference between great relationships and toxic ones is the great ones, they have little humps here and there with long stretches of just evenness. Whereas the toxic ones, they're constantly up and down off the charts with little tiny spaces in between. And I get a lot of clients that come to me and they're just dating and they've only been dating 6-8 months and they believe that they need to do work to get it back to the way it was. If at 6 to 8 months it's requiring a lot of work, it's probably time to just cut it off. At that stage in a relationship, really there should not be work involved other than maybe where are we going to dinner. There really should not be a whole lot of work involved. That's the honeymoon stage. That's the stage where everything should be good. And if it's not good, then you're just setting the way for the future. Who wants to live like that? So I think that we, especially because as a culture, we grow up with these fairy tales, these these movies where if you ever watch a movie, everything's bad and then it's really great at the end and it just happens in a matter of a couple of hours, but life's not really like that, and it's especially not like that in just a matter of a couple hours. And that's why we believe that things should be hard, because we believe that at the end it'll be good, but most of the time if they're hard, they stay hard, they get worse. And I'm all for trying to work a relationship out. People that want to work together, people have problems all the time. They have loss of jobs, loss of loved ones. They have to take a cut in finances or whatever. These people work these things out together because they have a commitment to one another. They have a high respect for one another. The best relationships are two people who truly respect each other. And they have similar values, they have similar interests, they have similar morals. I'm not saying that you have to have everything be the same. Surely you don't want somebody that's a carbon copy of you. But when you get down to the basics, the core, it's very similar. The problem when you have people that are two opposites might initially attract, but here's the problem. You have one person here and you have one person here. And when it comes time to compromise, to come into the middle, both people have to give themselves up. So when they look themselves in the mirror, they don't even know who they are anymore because they weren't able to keep a part of what they believed in. But when you have people that are halfway here and halfway here, it's a lot easier for both people to come in the middle. That's why it's really important to have people that are somewhat on the same wavelength instead of opposites, because when it's two opposite people, it's really hard to make compromise. And I think we get really caught into believing that we need to do years of counseling and years of work, and sometimes it's just that the story is over. It's just that. What happens is people, they try and they try and they try, sometimes beyond a point they end up becoming a definition or a version of somebody that's not them. And they're left with a shell of a person they don't even know who they are, because they're trying to be somebody to make a relationship work. And then you're left with two people that don't even know themselves anymore. They're so broken. It takes them years, literally years, to recover, to find out who they are anymore. And they hurt a lot of people in the process of this, because these people go right back out and date, and they hurt other people. And you're left with two people that are very, very broken, because all they did was try to force something to work. And I think that intuitively, and I'm going to do a video on intuition, probably a couple of them in the future, but intuitively, I think sometimes we really know. I think more often than sometimes, probably more often we know when we're forcing something, and when it's just flowing. I know that a lot of people feel that, but sometimes your mind just doesn't want to believe it. And I understand that, and I get that, but all you're doing is delaying your growth. When you just don't step outside the comfort zone and just end things at times, you just delay your growth. When you keep trying to go back and make it work over and over and over again, you are delaying your growth. You're delaying that other person's growth too. And let's not just make this about you. I mean, that's not a great thing to do to somebody else either. So that's really something to keep in mind too. But guys, I really want to emphasize that I don't think relationships should be hard work. I don't think that good or great relationships are hard work. Do I think that those people have ups and downs and peaks, and that everybody has? Absolutely. But they have a commitment, a respect. They have similar interests. They're able to work through it without feeling like the other person's against them, trying to sabotage them, or they just feel like that person has their back. And we don't all have that. And the reason we don't all have that is because we didn't choose the right person. That's the truth. And sometimes that's what it comes down to. Sometimes two people work together for a while, and then one person changes and the other person doesn't change. The other person doesn't grow. That's what happened in my marriage. Was I changed a lot. It wasn't on purpose. It was just the evolution of my life. I lost some really dear people in my life, and it changed me. And it didn't happen overnight. It just happened. And we did not grow together. And that happens. And no one's at fault. No one's at fault. But don't delay what you need to do. Don't delay your further growth. Don't delay the other person's growth. Please believe me that great relationships, they come naturally. They come with ease. They are not a lot of work. They really aren't. I hope that helps somebody. If you take a moment, I would love for you to run over to my YouTube channel and watch my other videos. If you know somebody that could benefit or is going through similar life circumstances, I would love for you to share, like, subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate all the support I've been getting and the messages. Have a great day, guys.